Amanda opened DoorDash on her phone. She has a master's degree. She earns $87,000 a year. She is not careless with money. She was just tired after work and wanted pad thai from the place 3 blocks away. The pad thai costs $14 at the restaurant. By the time she hit place order, the total was $42. She waited 38 minutes for food that would have taken her 11 minutes to pick up herself. And here's the part that should stop you cold. Amanda does something like that approximately 4 times a week. Not always DoorDash, sometimes Instacart instead of the grocery store, sometimes Amazon same day instead of the Target 5 minutes away, sometimes pre-chopped vegetables instead of whole ones. And when you add all of it up across a full year, the fees, the markups, the surcharges, the subscriptions, it costs her $11,000. Not on bad decisions, not on reckless spending, on being tired and choosing the easier option. We call that the convenience premium, and almost every American is paying it right now without knowing how much it actually costs them over a lifetime. The number is going to shock you. Here's what we need to understand first. The convenience premium is not a natural market phenomenon. It is a deliberately engineered system designed to exploit one specific flaw in how our brains process decisions. Behavioral economists call it present bias. It works like this. Your brain treats any inconvenience happening right now as massively more significant than a financial cost happening abstractly somewhere in a number on a screen. Walking 11 minutes to pick up pad thai is a concrete, immediate, physical effort you can vividly imagine in this moment. Paying an extra $28 is just digits in an app total you'll forget about by tomorrow morning. Your brain chooses the path of least present resistance, even when the math is catastrophically bad. The entire gig economy was built on this one cognitive bug. DoorDash, Instacart, Uber Eats, Amazon same day, TaskRabbit, all of it. They are not selling convenience, they're selling the avoidance of mild discomfort. And they are charging 300% markup for it. And they are betting correctly, because doing the math on what convenience actually costs is itself an inconvenience most people would rather avoid. According to a McKinsey report from 2023, the average American household now spends approximately $5,400 per year on convenience-based services that didn't exist or weren't widely used a decade ago. Delivery fees, subscription services, premium shipping, gig economy markups. That number has tripled since 2015. We are not becoming lazier as a society. We are being offered more opportunities to monetize our laziness, and we are accepting every single one. Here's the part the companies will never say out loud. DoorDash does not want you to use them occasionally when you're genuinely exhausted. They want to be your default, your first instinct, your reflexive answer to what's for dinner. They spend millions on behavioral design, push notifications, and promotional pricing specifically to create habit loops that make ordering feel automatic. Not occasional, automatic. Once the habit forms, the convenience is no longer a treat, it's a dependency, and dependencies can be priced accordingly.
So let's actually run the numbers. Because this is where the convenience premium stops feeling like an annoyance and starts feeling like what it actually is, a wealth destroyer hiding in plain sight. Let's take Amanda's DoorDash habit and put it on a spreadsheet. The average delivery order costs 40 to 60% more than the same food picked up or eaten in the restaurant. Here's exactly where that markup comes from. Restaurants raise their in-app menu prices 15 to 30% above normal to cover the platform commission they're paying. Then come the delivery fee, anywhere from $2 to $8. Then the service fee, typically 15% of your order, which is pure platform profit. Then the small order fee if you haven't hit the minimum. Then the tip, which runs higher than a sit-down tip because you feel guilty about someone driving to your house. If you order delivery twice a week at an average order value of $35, and the pickup equivalent would have been $22, you're paying $13 extra per order. That's $26 a week. That's $1,352 a year, just in the premium, not counting the food itself. That's a car payment. That's 4 months of index fund contributions at $300 a month, which, invested at 8% returns, grows to over $100,000 over 25 years. Every delivered pad thai is a piece of retirement you will never see again. Now stack grocery delivery on top. Instacart, Amazon Fresh, Walmart Plus. All of them layer costs that disappear when you walk into the store yourself.
Prices on delivery platforms run 5 to 15% higher before any fees. Service fees add another 5 to 10%. Delivery fees run $4 to $8, sometimes waived with subscriptions that cost $10 to $15 a month themselves. Then the tip. A Consumer Reports analysis found the average grocery delivery order costs 25 to 30% more than the same items purchased in person. If you spend $600 a month on delivered groceries instead of picked up ones, you're paying $150 to $180 a month in pure convenience premium. Over $2,000 a year for groceries. Add that to the food delivery number, and we're already past $3,000 annually, and we haven't touched 2 more categories. And here's what makes this worse. It's not just food. The convenience premium reaches into purchases most people never think to question. Some of the biggest markups in modern life are hiding in the most ordinary places. Pre-cut fruits and vegetables, pre-chopped onions, pre-spiralized zucchini, pre-sliced watermelon. A pound of pre-sliced watermelon costs about $6 at most grocery stores. A whole watermelon yielding 3 pounds of fruit costs about $5. You are paying 4 times more per pound for someone to make 15 seconds of knife cuts. Baby carrots are not a variety of carrot. They are regular carrots machined down to a uniform size, and they cost roughly twice as much per pound as whole carrots that require you to do the exhausting work of using a peeler for 30 seconds. Single-serve packaging works the same way. A 12-pack of individual chip bags costs about $8. A family-size bag with the same total weight costs about $4. Double the price for pre-divided portions in plastic. Coffee pods. A single cup pod costs 40 to 70 cents per cup. Ground coffee brewed from a bag costs 10 to 15 cents per cup. That's a 400% markup for the convenience of not scooping grounds into a filter. 2 pods a day instead of brewed coffee. $400 a year on coffee. Then there's Amazon Prime, the cleverest one of all. The average Prime member spends about $1,400 per year on Amazon. Non-members spend about $600. Amazon calls this proof that Prime members love the service. Here's what's actually happening. Free shipping removes a psychological barrier that would otherwise make you stop and ask whether you actually need the item or whether you could find it cheaper somewhere else. 2-day delivery creates urgency that prevents price comparison. Subscribe and Save locks you into recurring purchases at prices that are often higher than competitors. You're not saving money with Prime. You're paying $139 a year for the privilege of spending more money faster with less friction. And assembled furniture versus flat pack. This one is brutal when you do the math. An assembled bookshelf on Wayfair might run $300 delivered. The same dimensions from IKEA unassembled, $120. That's a $180 premium to avoid an hour of work. Except, you weren't going to work during that hour anyway. You were going to watch Netflix. So you didn't reclaim productive time. You reclaimed leisure time that you filled with other leisure. The convenience purchased nothing except the absence of a minor task. Now, you might be thinking, my time has value. I earn good money. Paying for convenience is just smart time arbitrage. We hear this a lot, and it is almost always wrong. Here's why. The time value argument only holds in one specific situation, when you would actually be working during the time you saved, when you would bill a client, close a deal, complete something that generates income. That is almost never what happens. When Amanda orders DoorDash instead of picking up, she does not use the saved 30 minutes to work. She uses it to scroll her phone. She traded money for slightly different leisure. She did not convert time into dollars. She converted dollars into the option of sitting on her couch instead of walking 3 blocks. The math of my time is worth X per hour only functions if you can actually convert that time into dollars. If you're salaried, your income is fixed regardless of how you spend your Tuesday evening. If you're hourly, you probably can't summon additional hours at will. The time saved by convenience spending is almost never convertible into real income, which means every "I'm paying for my time" justification is, in most cases, an emotional decision with a rational story attached after the fact. Here's what that emotional decision compounds to over a lifetime. Take someone paying an average convenience premium of $400 a month across all categories: food delivery, grocery delivery, pre-made foods, premium shipping, pod coffee, subscription services. $400 a month is a conservative estimate based on everything we've covered. Many people are well above it. $400 a month is $4,800 a year. Invested in an index fund returning 8% annually, that $4,800 a year becomes approximately $768,000 over 35 years. That is not a typo. $750,000 over a working lifetime. Not from gambling or speculation, from choosing to pick up your own food and push your own grocery cart and slice your own onions. Even if your convenience premium is half that, $200 a month, $2,400 a year, you're still looking at $384,000 over 35 years. That's a decade of retirement. That's a house down payment your kids inherit. That's generational wealth that disappears, silently, into fees and markups and the frictionless option, while the cost remains completely invisible because it was designed to be invisible. And here is the cruelest part of the math. The people who can least afford the convenience premium are often paying it most aggressively. Lower income neighborhoods have fewer grocery stores, making delivery feel more necessary. People working multiple jobs are more exhausted, making delivery more appealing. A $4 delivery fee represents a much larger percentage of a $30 order than a $60 order. The fee structures are regressive by design. The companies have optimized for extracting money from people who are already stretched, and disguised the extraction as a service that makes hard lives slightly easier. It does make hard lives slightly easier for 15 minutes, while making those same lives financially harder for decades. So what do we actually do about it? Because the answer is not, never order delivery again. Sometimes you're sick. Sometimes it's a genuine emergency. Sometimes the convenience is worth it. The goal isn't elimination. The goal is consciousness. Because right now, most of this spending happens automatically, which is exactly how the system was designed. Move 1. Calculate your actual convenience premium. Pull 3 months of bank and credit card statements. Identify every purchase where you paid more for the convenient option than you would have for the non-convenient one. Delivery fees, service fees, app markups, subscription services, pre-made foods, premium shipping. Add the total. Most people who do this exercise are genuinely shocked. You cannot fight something you have never seen. Most people have never seen the aggregate number. Move 2. Add friction back. The delivery apps spend millions removing friction from spending. We need to add it back. Delete the apps from your phone and access them only through a browser. More steps means more pause. Remove saved credit cards from auto checkout. Institute a 24-hour waiting period before any convenience purchase. If you still want DoorDash tomorrow, fine, but you cannot have it in the moment of impulse. Impulse is the entire business model. Interrupt the impulse and the business model stops working on you. Move 3. Reclaim the skills convenience has quietly replaced. Learn 5 simple meals so I don't know what to make stops being a valid reason for delivery. Buy whole vegetables and do the 60 seconds of knife work that saves $4 a pound. Assemble one piece of IKEA furniture and realize it's not the ordeal the $180 premium implies. Every skill you reclaim is a category of convenience spending you no longer need. The convenience economy profits from making you feel incapable of tolerating mild effort. Proving to yourself that you can tolerate it is free, and it pays compounding dividends. Move 4. Reframe inconvenience as the investment it actually is. Every time you pick up food instead of ordering delivery, you are not losing time. You are keeping $15. Every time you push a cart through a grocery store, you are not suffering. You are keeping $30. Every time you brew coffee from a bag instead of a pod, you are keeping 40 cents, which compounds across 30 years into something that matters. The inconvenience is the labor that earns the savings. And the savings are the investment that builds the wealth. The question is never, how do I avoid this mild effort? The question is this mild effort worth $15 to me right now? And when you frame it that way, almost every time, the answer is yes. Amanda doesn't think of herself as someone who wastes $11,000 a year. She thinks of herself as someone who occasionally orders delivery because she works hard and she's tired, and she deserves a break. That story feels reasonable. It feels earned. It feels like self-care. But the money doesn't care what story she tells. It disappears regardless of the narrative she uses to justify it. And in 30 years, when she wonders why she doesn't have the retirement she expected, she won't connect it to the 400 delivered pad thais and the 200 grocery orders and the 1,000 small surrenders to the frictionless option. The cause will be invisible, because it was designed to be invisible. Here's the reframe that actually changes behavior. You are not a tired person who deserves convenience. You are a target in a system that was engineered to monetize your exhaustion. Every push notification, every add to cart, every your order is 2 minutes away. That is a machine that has been optimized to convert your tiredness into someone else's revenue. Understanding that doesn't make you cynical. It makes you free. Because the moment you see the convenience premium for what it is, not a treat, not self-care, not time arbitrage, but a tax on autopilot living, you stop paying it automatically. And automatic is the whole game. If you want to know why $30 per hour doesn't actually pay you $30, click the left video. And if you want to know about the overtime trap, click the right video. And I'll see you there in a second.